me know when we're up.
We're up.
We're up. Hi, guys.
Hello.
How is everyone? I bet you're not sweating like we are.
Yes. I'm going to teach you what not to do.
That's right. What your friends won't tell you.
Yes.
What your friends will tell you, get out of the heat. No, so we're going to be live here in just a couple of seconds. We're just going up a little early so we can check our mics, make sure our cameras are working. And the best thing we always say you can do for us is share our live videos. So go to your share button right now, because I'm going to do that right now on the What Your Friends Won't Tell You page, and share it on your page. That is the best thing you can do for us. Today we're talking about self-care. And once again, self-care is not being
sitting in the sun.
in the heat in Florida in the middle of June.
Yeah. Without sunscreen.
But we're going to make this rock. We're going to make it rock. And we have a live audience today as well. We're going to get to all the happenings here at the nSpa at the Delray Beach Marriott. Our show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On today's episode of What Your Friends Won't Tell You, breaking the barriers of self-care. Why do we continue to overschedule, overgive, overindulge when we know we need to give ourselves some love? Shannon's tools to get past the obstacles that keep us from taking care of ourselves. Plus, the all-in-one kitchen appliance that saves you time and will change the way you eat. Episode 66 of What Your Friends Won't Tell You starts right now. Today's show is brought to you by the nSpa at the Delray Beach Marriott. Hi everyone, and welcome to What Your Friends Won't Tell You. This is episode 66, and we are live at the nSpa at the Delray Beach Marriott, and we are celebrating Global Wellness Day. They're actually having a lot of festivities here at the nSpa throughout the day today and also tomorrow. We're having people doing yoga down on the patio. We have people getting free spa treatments right now inside. We have our live audience that is here enjoying some cocktails and free spa treatments and all the good things. Thank you guys for coming. And today we are talking about self-care.
Yes, and we want to once again say it's not sitting in the sun without sunscreen at 11 a.m.
I know.
in Florida in June.
Like, what were we thinking?
Yes.
But you know what? We're going to get through this.
We're gonna, yes,
Yeah.
and it is actually beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's not raining, so
No.
at least we have that, right?
We're grateful.
All right, so, you know, when Shannon and I started planning out this show, we felt like we had talked about self-care, because
Yes.
we talk about it almost every show.
Yes.
I mean, in some form or
In some
fashion,
form
we
or
are
another,
talking
yes.
about self-care. And
Right.
so we didn't want to do the same thing over again. But what we talked about was breaking the barriers. What does that mean, Shannon?
Well, what we talked about is how we keep talking about self-care and then not doing it.
Right.
So it's like, well, why don't we do it? We all know the 8 glasses of water a day, 8 hours of sleep, rest, snacks, 3 meals a day, reducing your stress. We all know the basics of self-care, and yet most of us don't do it. So we thought, you know what, let's talk about what are the barriers to self-care? What are the things that are preventing us from doing what we know is the necessary, required things for ourselves?
Yeah.
So that's where we kind of started.
You know, it's funny because for this whole week, my schedule has been crazy.
Yeah.
And I've been a crazy person. And I said that is my biggest barrier, is overscheduling and
Yes.
thinking that a dental appointment will take 15 minutes.
Yes. Yes.
And then booking something right after that dental
Yes.
appointment. So I have to tell the dentist, I'm sorry, I have to boogie.
Yeah.
And so that is my biggest barrier. And I was thinking about it this week about how I was producing a show for today on self-care, yet here I am back in the same rut, the same pattern
Yeah.
of overscheduling
Right.
myself and not taking care
Right,
of myself.
and not taking care of ourselves. And for me, it's busyness. Just, you know that you need to do a walk, you know that you need to do some exercises, you know that you need to do certain things, but you're going all day long and then you don't ever get to it. And then my next famous thing that I'm famous for, that I teach and talk about, and I'm the guru of codependency, but if you need an appointment at 6, my walk is at 6, sure, I'll bump my
I'll make it
walk.
happen.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I'll see you at 6. So being codependent, taking care of other people, and then as a mom, forget about it, right? I can't tell you how many times I was in an outfit driving to the gym and Hannah would call, hey, Mom, Mom, I need you to come get me. Okay.
Hey, let me turn around.
Yeah, and that happens all the time.
And I think, what's really a struggle for me this week, it's the first week that the kids are out of school. My daughter's not in camp. I had totally different plans. They were supposed to be out of town this week. They're not out of town, so they're staying here. Lane's like, can you bring me food? Can you do this?
Yes.
I'm like, okay, I've got a million things on my plate. So I feel, you feel the guilt.
Right. You bring her food, you skip food.
Right.
Right.
I didn't even eat yesterday.
I'm sure.
Did not even eat yesterday.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Flag on the play.
The other thing that I think was really eye-opening when we were discussing this show, though, was something that doesn't sound like self-care, but is. And you said you saw a movie recently that kind of changed everything for you.
It sounds silly, but I'm a movie buff. I love movies. I was raised in a house where that was just kind of our bonding thing, and still with my children, that's our bonding thing. So I've seen a lot of movies in my day. I have never seen a movie that rocked me to the core like this movie. It was Rocket Man. It's the Elton John story. And I don't want to give anything away, but what came up for me watching this movie is that he's such a passionate human.
Yeah.
And I was very emotional in the movie because what I realized, and it just kind of all clicked as I was sitting watching the movie, I'm thinking, I'm doing a show on self-care. The biggest thing about self-care is living your passion, doing what makes you feel alive. When you don't do what makes you feel alive,
for him,
you
it was
feel
music.
dead. Yes.
Yeah.
And so when you don't do what makes you feel alive, you feel dead. When you don't live your passions, you feel like you're not alive. So for me, it's dancing and singing. And I had some health stuff over the past couple years, and I completely stopped both.
Wow.
And when I watched that movie, I went, well, no wonder I feel kind of
not
dead.
like yourself.
Yeah, not alive inside. And stupid barrier, some barriers to self-care. Suzanne always gets a good chuckle out of me. So technology. Excuse me,
She's challenged.
When did they take the CD player out of the car? Because that became an issue for me.
I kid you not, the other day she was telling, when we were talking about this show, and she said, I don't play my CDs anymore. And I was like, oh my God, Shannon, that's not even a thing.
I said, I don't know how to do a playlist on my phone, okay? My kids have some
I'm all you need is Spotify. Like, I can show you how to make that happen.
So we're working on that. But that was a barrier to self-care.
Right.
And also dancing, I had some health stuff, so I'm not doing my country line dancing at the country place. But you know what? I can do some movement in my kitchen. I can play music through the house as soon as Suzanne teaches me how to hook it up. I can play music in my house and dance around my house, and I will feel alive. And I don't know about your children, but I watch my children. They're so alive and passionate, and they always have music in their ear.
Yes.
They're always dancing and singing and moving around. And so figuring out, and I said it to, I was working with different clients this week and talking about this, and somebody said, hey, I just signed up for a pottery class, or I just signed up for a painting class, or I just signed up for yoga because that's my passion, or I just went back to painting because that's my passion, and that's what makes us feel alive.
When I left CBS 12, I think that was why I got so involved in doing these shows and really continuing what I loved, because I loved what I did.
Right.
And that was my passion.
Right.
So I think, that was I was hyper aware that I would not be the same Suzanne if I wasn't able to communicate in some way. Now, I may have taken that a little far.
You're over-communicating, Suzanne.
Because I've got this show and then the podcast and now starting another show with my former colleague. So it's like, Suzanne, maybe you should slow down a little bit. But yes, but communication is my thing. And I think that is so important, to find your thing and do your thing, whatever form that looks like.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be the same way you've always done it.
Right. Well, definitely when you have health issues, you have to adapt to everything.
Right.
So
like you maybe can't go country line dancing, but you can do it in your house.
Yeah, I can move around my kitchen for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Adapt, adapt, adapt.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is just identifying those and get rid of that guilt surrounding the self-care. All right, coming up, we're going to have Shannon's toolbox, and the toolbox is different than what most self-care routines are about. It's interesting because, like I said, it's Global Wellness Day, and the nSpa here at the Delray Beach Marriott is celebrating that, and they have 7 steps to self-care, which are walk for an hour, don't use plastic bottles, go to sleep by 10 p.m., drink more water, eat healthy food, have a family dinner with your loved ones, and do a good deed. Now, those are great tools for self-care, but Shannon's are a little bit different, and I think really unique about how you can really break the barriers to self-care and stop those patterns. So Shannon's Toolbox is coming up next. Stay with What Your Friends Won't Tell You, live from the nSpa at the Delray Beach Marriott. At the corner of Atlantic Avenue and the ocean, tucked away inside the Delray Beach Marriott, is one of South Florida's best kept secrets.
It's just nice to be able to come and relax and just enjoy some me time, you know, and a lot of times I bring my girls with me, so it's not just me coming, it's the three of us coming or my daughter-in-law, and you know, it's just such a great time just to relax. And like I said, even once you get done, you're right across from the ocean. It's a gym. I would say like it's a hidden gem for sure.
Dana Miller has been coming to the nSpa at the Delray Beach Marriott for years. It's near her home, but she feels like she's on vacation. The nSpa has highly trained specialists offering innovative treatments like the HydraFacial.
With this facial, what I love about it, you're going to get instant results. It's going to hydrate the skin. They have Dermabil. Dermabil is like Botox in a bottle. Helps with the fine lines, the wrinkles, and I like it for the extractions. You can get a facial and that day go on the red carpet.
One new client recently said her 80-minute massage with Geo was the best she's ever had. The nSpa also has a halotherapy salt room, infrared saunas, state-of-the-art fitness center, and spacious balcony overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. Guests can enjoy organic wine at the champagne bar in the relaxation area. Then, take home these top-of-the-line spa products to enhance their wellness rituals at home. Come experience true self-care in this serene, elegant setting at the nSpa in Delray Beach. Okay, it's a little warm out here. All right, how are you guys hanging in there? Yes, this is what I love about the nSpa at the Delray Beach Marriott. You tell them you have a problem and they will fix it. So they got fans for all of the audience here. But a lot of them did spa treatments this morning. They did yoga. We are celebrating Global Wellness Day, and we thank the nSpa, our sponsor for this show here at the Delray Beach Marriott.
Beautiful.
I have been coming here for years, and I tell you, it like the woman said in the commercial, it is like a hidden gem. Because a lot of people don't know that it's here, tucked inside the Delray Beach Marriott, but it's awesome. It's a great place for self-care, and self-care is what we're talking about. We kind of just talked about breaking the barriers and the patterns that we have. For me, it's overscheduling. It's feeling like I always need to be doing something when I don't. For you, it's busyness and codependency and saying you can do things which will interfere with your self-care. And so we wanted to open up Shannon's Toolbox and talk about some of the things that we can do to help us break these patterns. So what is number one?
So as with anything, number one is, what are your barriers to self-care? You have to do an inventory. Identify. And so really, really looking at, what are the things I need to be doing? What is stopping me? Like, for example, last winter, I realized I need to walk. When I walk, I feel good. But then it was dark at 5. I'm not walking my neighborhood at 5. It's a decent neighborhood, but I don't really like walking in the dark. So I put
and people can't see you.
And you fall and all kinds of fun stuff, right?
And they run you over.
They can't see you. You can't see what you're doing. It's a big fun thing. So what I did is I put in 2 hours, and it felt impossible, but you know what? It worked out great. I put in 2 hours at my lunch break, so I could go grab lunch, return calls, and then do at least 30-minute walk. So I literally, went into my book and drew a red line to stop that barrier from preventing me from doing what I needed to do. So, the same thing with technology. I mean, that's an easier fix. But figure out what it is.
I do yoga. I put it in my calendar on Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings. And so it's in my calendar. So I know that that's not negotiable.
And I think, like you were saying, like the concept, well, we're actually going to move into it in a minute, but we need to write it down.
Write it down.
So definitely. So figure out what those barriers are, figure out what your passions are, and why you've stopped doing them, and then try to come up with a change or implement a change to stop to change that.
Yeah, and I think you got to get real honest with yourself,
Yeah.
About what that looks like. Because for me, I was always the person that blamed my schedule at work. When I woke up at 2:30 in the morning.
Yep,
and
yep.
so for me, it was like easy to blame my schedule and easy for that. But when I left CBS 12 and I found myself right back in the same situation without a full-time job,
Exactly.
I'm like,
This is
maybe it's not the
interesting.
schedule, maybe it's Suzanne.
Yes.
So you got to get real honest with yourself.
Very honest.
Yeah.
And that takes us right into the second tool, which is one of the barriers for a lot of us, especially, I hate to make it women-centered or men-centered. I think a lot of times parents, but I know as a female, we do this a lot. We guilt ourselves.
Yes.
I should. How many of you out there are always I should? You're at the gym, you're like, I should be home. I should be doing this with the kids. I should, stop and take them here. I should be shopping, at the grocery store. So to really stop with the self-guilt and recognize, I can tell you when I used to country line dance on Tuesday night, I was the best mom on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Because my tank was filled back up.
Yeah.
So the guilt needs to stop, because if you don't take care of yourself, you really don't have anything to give.
And there's an easy solution for that. If you're real honest with people, like if you tell your kids, hey, mommy needs this for herself,
Right.
and I am going this day, and this day.
Yeah.
If you're open with them in the beginning, like it kind of takes that guilt off of you, because you're like, okay, I've made it clear that this is important for me.
Well, you know what's so fascinating to me about that, Suzanne, is when my children spoke up to me, what they would often say to me, and it's a little embarrassing to say, but like my daughter would say things like, Mommy, who's going to take care of you? They got that I was so
Yes.
there for them that they worried about what was
You.
going to happen to me.
Yeah.
So I think that role modeling self-care is very critically important, and I
Yeah.
think it will take some of the stress off of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and number 3.
Number 3, I love this because we've never said this before and it's so cool, and you have something to share about it, but
Yes.
create a reminder that you can see on your body. So this one, you had something to share, which I think is amazing, and then I thought of after, I know people that tattoo things that are about self-care, and it's so cool. I have a friend who has You Are Enough, right? There's people that have Just Breathe, right? Slow down. So if you are into that kind of artistry, why not have a reminder for yourself on your body about self-love, self-care, positive affirmations?
Yeah. And for me, it's just a bracelet. I'm not going with a tattoo on the arm. No, not that there's anything wrong with that, but so my dear friend Lori, who's over here, she got me this for my birthday, and it says peace on it, and peace is my word for 2019. It was really important to me. I've not done a really good job on the peace thing. But I'm telling you, when I look down at this, it is such a good reminder, constantly there telling me, is this decision going to bring you peace? Is this something that will bring you peace?
Right.
And so I think that is a really good resource and a good reminder about self-care and what we need to do to break these patterns.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about some resources, because you actually had one that I had not read or heard about, and it's an article that was in Psychology Today. Tell us about that.
So Psychology Today, from self-indulgence to self-nurturing. And it really was powerful, because what it's highlighted is that we all crave self-care and we need self-care, but most of us won't end up doing self-care. What we will do instead, because we have that empty hole that we're trying to fill and we're trying to feel better, is we'll get into self-indulgence. So we'll do the bottle of wine at night. We'll do the food and the cake. We'll do the food, right? So we'll get into that indulgent behavior, eating things that are eating too much, eating things that we shouldn't, eating sweets, sugar, alcohol, shopping too much. And we'll do that kind of at the end of the day or that last hour, just to kind of fill that void.
I opened the tequila bottle last night because I was stressed out.
Let's not be shy. Right. So we end up doing
and then I called my neighbor. I'm like, you have to come over and drink with me so I'm not drinking alone.
Because it's on the checklist of bad. Very bad. So if you come over, it won't be bad.
That's right.
Very nice loophole. She's learning a lot from the psychology piece of this and using it, to get away with stuff. But that's really the important thing, is that we end up indulging. And what the article talked about is that sometimes our parents, this is interesting because we can flip this, sometimes our parents were so busy that they weren't able to meet our needs, which sent us the message that we didn't deserve self-care. So then we feel guilty when we take care of ourselves, but we are okay with indulging. So there's the cycle, which leads to
Interesting.
addiction. So I thought it was really powerful. So it's like,
Yeah.
hey, you deserve to take care of yourself, but if you can do it a little differently, it won't be indulgent, it won't be addictive behavior,
Right.
and it won't cause those negative consequences.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to link that article
Yeah.
here in our comment section so you can go back and read that, but it is really eye-opening. The other thing that I think is a great resource for self-care is a paper calendar. Don't make fun. I just bought this one at Office Depot. I'm like obsessed with it. But I still keep a paper calendar, even though I am very tech savvy, and I also keep a calendar on, on my Gmail. But I think that having a paper calendar and going in and writing down the things that bring you joy, that are your passion, and writing them into the days and where are you going to fit that within your day. And I think just go and get yourself a paper calendar, and there's even things on the side where you can write little notes, and that's what I love to do, like Suzanne, slow down,
Yes.
don't overbook,
Right.
and when you, and I've tried not to book things on Mondays because Mondays were always a trigger for me at CBS 12, because whenever I would go into Monday, I always felt like this depression. And so now I'm trying not to book things on Mondays, and I do that by looking at my paper calendar, and Monday says a big X on it.
I was going to say, we need to get you a red pen. So that's the beauty of these, is like, and it does. I've still kept a paper calendar. Shocking. There's a hush that falls over the room. But since I don't have the option of technology, I keep a paper calendar, and that was so monumental for me to take that red pen and block certain times. And that tells my brain when somebody says, can you do 6 o'clock? It's like, nope, it tells me right here I can't.
Yeah.
So that's really powerful.
Yeah. All right. So those are our resources. Coming up next, we're going to talk about our mantra, the mantra that you can say every day that can really be a good reminder for keeping up with your self-care and taking care of yourself. And then we also have the best thing ever, which I am super excited about. And I think almost like Lori and Steph, they know because they have one too. It's a kitchen appliance that we were recently given as a gift. And it is life-changing. Like, it will change the way you eat. It will change the amount of time it takes to cook dinner. So
well, and I'm just mad because I bought the old version, apparently.
Yeah,
that's not
you need
doing
the
all
new
this
version.
fancy stuff.
You need the new version. So we're going to talk about the best thing ever. Coming up next on What Your Friends Won't Tell You, we are live at the nSpa at the Delray Beach Marriott. And thank you to all of our friends and family and fans who came to watch and be part of our live audience. We'll be right back.
You guys still conscious?
The objective of this program is to get you out of credit card debt.
Debt Helpers Carolyn Compton knows that people don't like to talk about it.
Don't worry, we're going to be here to guide you through the entire process and help you step by step.
But she also knows talking about it is the first step to getting out of the credit card debt trap.
We like to tell people that usually when they find themselves in this situation, it's not their fault. It could have been anything from a job loss to a medical debt to a divorce. So we really understand where they're coming from and just try to find the best solution for them.
DebtHelper.com has been in business since 1996. It's a program that has helped 15,000 families get out of credit card debt. They have agents who meet with you one-on-one and help you create a plan to lower your interest rates, lower your payments, and finally, pay it all off. Most people who use DebtHelper.com can be completely free of credit card debt within 5 years.
We make it as simple as possible. What we do as an agency is contact the creditors, and from there we can lower the interest rate, which in turn lowers the payments. And once that lowered payment comes in, it's going to have everything built into it.
DebtHelper.com also has a first-time homebuyer program to help you get mortgage ready. If you've been afraid or embarrassed to ask for help, this is your time to finally get out from under your debt, and it's simple. DebtHelper.com can do everything right over the phone. Call 1-800-920-2262 or go to DebtHelper.com.
Oh, thank you. Look what Dania just brought us, one of the fans. And someone else is going to bring us the ice towels
You take that.
gave
I'll
away.
do the ice.
They gave away ice towels with cucumber on them at the nSpa here at the Delray Beach Marriott when everyone was doing yoga earlier today. So they're really amazing here, and they
It's
try to make
so
you.
amazing.
But it is hot out here, and we want to thank Morley for these clothes.
And we want to apologize to Morley for these clothes because you're going to get them back way different than you loaned them.
We might have to
us.
buy these clothes.
Yes.
Because
These are keepers.
oh my gosh, I need to go jump in the pool after this.
I know.
Yeah, that's self-care.
But that's Morley on the Avenue, right? On
yeah,
Atlantic
that's Morley
Avenue.
on Atlantic Ave. So we just are. I'm so thankful to the
Yes.
owner of all 3 shops that we get our clothes from, Morley, Periwinkle, and Coco and Company, and they are, and Carrie Delafield, who is the owner of those shops, and she lets us come in and pick out whatever we want for our shows. And we didn't even know that Global Wellness Day is all about pink. And we had picked these out before knowing that.
Look at that.
So thank you to Morley on Atlantic Avenue here in Delray Beach, and also thank you to the nSpa here at the Delray Beach Marriott for sponsoring today's episode, celebrating Global Wellness Day. In fact, they have a whole schedule of events happening today and tomorrow, free spa treatments, all kinds of cool stuff. So make sure you call here at the spa if you want to come get some free spa treatments here later today or tomorrow. All right, now let's talk about the best thing ever. Okay, so the best thing ever was given to me as a gift by a woman named Susie Rizzuto. I met her through I read her through my friend Maureen over here. And Susie is just the kindest, most generous, giving woman, and she is super, super sweet. And she gifted me and Lori and Steph with this kitchen appliance, and it is life-changing. All right, here is what it looks like. It's by Cuisinart, and it looks like a toaster oven, and it is a toaster oven, but it is also an air fryer.
Oh, wow.
So everyone raves about these air fryers, but I never got one because it's a separate thing you have to put on your counter, and that's a pain in the butt, right? Mm-hmm. Who brings out a separate appliance? This is all in one. So you can turn it on the different settings, whether you want to toast something, bake something, broil something, or air fry it.
Amazing.
And let me just tell you, chicken takes like 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
It's very tender and juicy.
It's so juicy, and it's not,
really
it's crispy on the outside, super juicy on the inside.
Right.
Any kind of vegetable you want to cook in there, it takes literally minutes. It's done in no time. You can cook an entire meal in about 15 minutes.
Wow.
Not only that, but Susie told us to put apples in with cinnamon.
Ooh.
And your entire house smells like apple pie.
Wow.
And it's so good, and everything's so healthy. You don't have to use any kind of oil. You don't have to use any kind of butter, and you can really keep your meals super healthy and make them quickly, which is what I love.
Yeah, well, quick is important when you have
so
kids.
it's the Cuisinart. It's the air fryer and also the toaster oven. It runs about $200, so it's not cheap, but I'm telling you, it is worth it.
Yeah, because you can do all your meals at home, and it'll save you from eating out. It's going to save you money in the long run.
Exactly.
Love it.
All right, let's talk about our mantra. So we always want to tell you about a mantra that you can repeat. Write it on your mirror in lipstick. You can do
or on your arm.
Or on your arm.
Suzanne's not going for it, but I still feel like that's a great location.
That's right. All right, our mantra is self-care
isn't selfish.
Isn't selfish. You know who said that? Ashley Judd actually.
Oh, really?
That's the quote she actually quoted that.
Before Stephanie.
Before Stephanie. So Stephanie actually came up with that mantra, and it is a great mantra because
so great.
We all think that we're being selfish when we take care, or not we all think, but some of us
really
have that guilt.
With it. Yeah,
like
really
if I'm taking care of myself and this is what I need to do for me, and I'm not overgiving to someone else, that I feel guilty about it, and you shouldn't, because it's not selfish.
Yeah, that's the most common question I hear is it selfish if?
Right.
So, yes.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hold on. Excuse me.
I forgot. Oh.
We have a surprise from Miss Suzanne Boyd.
Oh.
So you don't get to close the show today. Hold on a minute.
I didn't know about this.
I guess that's why it's called a surprise.
Happy birthday to you. Thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, dear Suzanne. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And many more.
This is Kim. Yorcy. She is the manager here at the nSpa at the Delray Beach Marriott. She is the reason we are here. So thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. My birthday was actually last Saturday. I didn't get a real birthday because my daughter was super sick. So this is amazing. Thank you so much.
Love you.
Thank you.
Here.
And Kim's birthday is like 2 days before mine.
Oh, wow.
So we're the crazy Gemini women.
Oh boy.
You have work to show.
Note to self.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much for
Thanks,
having us. This is,
Yes.
you guys
Amazing.
have such a hidden gem here. Thank you to all of our audience for sweating it out with us.
I love
We really,
the therapist out there. You got neroli water.
yes, we got all kinds of fun things. Don't forget, Global Wellness Day is being celebrated here today and tomorrow. Call the spa if you would like to come in for some of the treatments that they're.
Salt treatment, 25-minute salt treatment for Saturday and Sunday. So take time for yourself.
Yeah, take time for yourself. It's all about self-care. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Morley, for our outfits. Thank you to our entire team, Bruce, Brendan, Stephanie, Jean, Lori. Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. Have a great day, everyone. And don't forget, self-care is not selfish. All right, so we can
do
keep
questions?
the live stream up if you guys want.
Can I turn around for questions? Well, maybe we should just
Oh
stand
my
there.
God, we're sweating. Poor Bruce.